Hey, it's your girl, Copper Color Creations, coming with another update. Hey, family, how is everybody doing out there? I hope you guys are vibrating in love and light. The only way, family, is love and light. Family, when I say family, I want to let everyone know out there you could be black, blue, purple, yellow, pink, or orange. It doesn't matter what race you are. As long as you are vibrating high, you've done your shadow work, and you are balancing your masculine and your feminine energy out, then you are family to me. All right now. So I am dipping out of hermit mode, family. Let me just say this. I live in hermit mode. So as far as me coming in and out, I live in hermit mode. Yes, I do. That's okay. But I really wanted to make a very, very important video. And it touches my heart dearly. This video will mean so much to me. And I just wanted to get it out before we celebrate this no Thanksgiving holiday, this man-made holiday. I wanted to get this out before many prepare the table, and I wanted to let everyone know what it really means, okay? I've warned many to, do semen retention, do their shadow work, and connect to their ancestors. And that was for a reason and a season. And we are in that season to where it's very important for you to know who you are, where you come from, so you know where you are going. And when I say that, it doesn't matter if you think you're from Africa, if you think you're from Ireland, if you think you're from Egypt. It does not matter where you think you are. What's important is you doing the research, doing your shadow work, healing your inner childhood trauma so you can connect to your ancestors, which are your spirit guides, and they can lead you to who you truly are. Okay? Now that's important. Now, what Thanksgiving means for me and my bloodline, I just want to say I am the very first person to break the generational curses out of my family's bloodline. And I am honored, very, very honored. Okay? Now, Thanksgiving Day is a reminder of genocide of millions of Native people, the theft of Native lands, and their relentless assaults on Native culture. So with that being said, the name of this video is called No Thanksgiving. Now, participants in the National Day of Mourning honor Native ancestors and the struggles of Native peoples to survive today. Okay? This is a day, tomorrow, which is Thanksgiving. I am recording this on Wednesday, the 22nd. On the day of Thanksgiving is a day of remembrance and spiritual connection, as well as the protest of the racism and oppression which Native people continue to experience. Okay? Now, I also want to let everyone know that tomorrow a portal will be open. It is the 11/23/23 portal. Okay? And research what that portal means and how you can manifest a higher vibration lifestyle, how you could change your life, how you can connect to your ancestors. Okay. Now, I did a video called Breaking Generational Curses. And in that video, I explained to the tribe in order to be born, you needed 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, 16 second great-grandparents, 32 third great-grandparents, 64 fourth great-grandparents, 128 fifth great-grandparents, 256 great-grandparents, 512 seventh great grandparents, 1,024 eighth great grandparents, 2,048 eight great grandparents. I'm sorry, 2,048 nine great grandparents. For you to be born today from 12 previous generations, you needed a total of 4,094 ancestors over the last 400 years, family. Think for a moment about how many struggles, how many battles, how much sadness, happiness, love, stories, and hope for the future that your ancestors had to undergo for you to even exist in this present moment. You are the dream of many ancestors. Family, so when I speak about 4,000 plus and 94 ancestors, do you know how many timelines that is? For me, that's many, many, many generations and timelines. So you don't know who your ancestors are. Your ancestors could have been warriors, great warriors. They were great warriors. That's why it's important to find out who you are and where you come from, because your ancestors' DNA is still inside of you. That warrior that was taken down is still inside of you. Okay? Whoever you are, okay? It's important to do your genealogy. Now, as far as for me and my family's bloodline, I did some deep sea research, and I found out who my ancestors were. And I first want to say this. Both of my grandmothers were very, very open about how they were raised and their past and their ancestors. And I had the privilege to speak to both of them. My maternal grandmother, she had her third generation grandmother on her living room table. And everyone that walked in her home, she explained who that was. A beautiful, beautiful so-called Native American Indian with hair all the way down to her feet. And she knew exactly who she was. Okay? She knew who she was, and she made sure she let us know who she was. Just like many of you out there, I'm sure your grandmother and grandparents have told you who you were. Okay? Many of our grandparents didn't know who they were, and many of them did. For the ones that knew who they were, they addressed it. And when they said it, they meant it. So believe them. And that should have took you on a journey to find out who you truly were, because we have been lied to. Okay? Once again, the Bible has even been tainted. It's a fairy tale, fake characters mixed with truth. I've warned many already, okay, to do your research, okay? Start at the fact that the 42 laws of Mott predates Exodus 20 by 2,000 years. So what are you going to believe first, okay? A rewritten script, or the truth? You must do the research and seek and you shall find, okay? That's all I can tell you. It's not easy doing your shadow work. It's not easy doing semen retention. It's not easy by dividing yourself from low vibrational family members, friends, and foe. No, it's not easy, but it is very rewarding, because you are breaking so many generational curses that your ancestors could not do before you. This is the season and this is the generation for us to break these cycles. It's not just about poverty or being broke. You hear a lot of people talk about breaking generational curses, and the first thing people think about is wealth. It has something to do with your generational wealth. Yes, it does. But it also has a lot to do with your spiritual wealth, your physical wealth, your ancestors before you, your kids, to have all your blocks lifted so you can get your inheritance that was promised to you. Okay? It's much more than just money. Okay? Freedom. Because what does the truth do? The truth will hurt. The truth will heal. But one thing it will do is set you free. And that's guaranteed, family. Okay? So, my grandparents had some beautiful, beautiful stories about their history. And let's go over my genealogy real quick. Like I said, if you think your ancestors came over here on a slave boat that they cannot find, then seek your ancestors. Find out who they were. Now, as far as this out of Africa spill, I want to also let you guys know black is a color of a crayon. Okay? Black is a color of a crayon. Okay? And an Afro-American is patented. So who are you truly that was on American soil? Let me bring up some of my visuals, family. Let's see here. So we're going to get to the bottom of this. Who are you truly? Okay, because like I said, we've been lied to. The books have lots of truth with lies. That's why it's important for you to tap in, have some discernment. Okay, that's very important in this season for you to discern the truth. Open up your third eye. Okay, unblock those chakras. Okay, all right. Protect yourself at all times because many out there don't want us to know who we truly are. They are doing everything from dark energy, black magic, trying to block our throat chakra, our crown chakra. That's why many of us in the tribe, we cover our crown. Okay. If many don't know, when you see me, my crown is covered for a reason. Okay. Many, many reasons, more than one, but I have a specific reason, family. So it's important for you to protect yourself. And I've also warned everyone that don't believe in the spiritual realm. The spiritual realm was here before the physical. Okay? And I've told you guys to tap in. It's very important for you to tap into the spiritual realm so you can connect to your ancestors, which are your spirit guides. That's going to help you. Okay? Now, I don't want to spend too much time on me. I want to get to the topic at hand about what Thanksgiving really means. Let me get my notes out so I won't forget anything. Now, I did my genealogy, family. And for those that don't know, genealogy is not DNA. DNA is when you give your blood up and you send it into a manufacturer to test your blood, or a company that's owned by, we don't know who own those companies. So I'm not advising anyone to do a DNA test. I'm advising you to do your own genealogy by birth certificate, marriage license, archives. There's many, many, many ways to do your genealogy. And that is why I am going to be touring my genealogy workshop called Who Are My Ancestors? Because I want to help as many as I can out there find out who they are, where they come from, so we know where we are going. Okay? So what I discovered, let's talk about my genealogy, okay? For the record, I might have some African, Nigerian, or Haitian mixed into my genealogy because 4,000 ancestors, that's a lot. So I'm not saying that I don't have any in my blood because, some Africans were brought over here as slaves. Okay? But my ancestors were servitude slaves. And if you don't know the difference of that, research servitude slaves versus slaves. So some Africans did come over here and mix with our ancestors and start families. So that blood is mixed in there. But we are not from Africa, and we didn't come over here in slave ships. Not my bloodline. At least not mine. I can't speak for everyone else. That's why I'm asking you guys to do your genealogy and find out who you are and where you come from. All right? So let's get started. So I have, my ancestors were great, okay? When I say they removed some things from us so we wouldn't find out who we are and where we come from, the 1828 Webster's Dictionary, the American dictionary that they removed, okay? But you can still Google it if you put up Webster's Dictionary 1828 and type in the meaning of American. Let's go over that. Let's go over the meaning of American, okay? A noun, a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper color races found here by the Europeans. But, y'all see that, family? It says, but, now applied to the descendants of the Europeans born in America. The name American must always exalt the pride of patriotism. Okay? So they told us right there. They told us the truth, but, they said that we wouldn't read and we wouldn't research and we would just be turning up and we wouldn't care because many of us don't care about where we come from. But I do. And I care for many that are lost, confused, stuck, and stagnant and can't see clearly. I do care. So I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this for many out there who are just waking up, going to work, and being a robot for the system. Okay? You guys, it's very important. Your future for your kids and generations to come. This is the season to wake up to the illusions that we've been sold. We've been programmed since birth to believe these certain religions and these doctrines and these books with lies in them. Yes, we've been programmed. Our ancestors were programmed as well. Many of them didn't know the truth. They couldn't break these generational curses. They were programmed with lies on top of lies on top of lies. So it's our generation that is supposed to come in and get all these lies out and find the truth out on who we truly are. Okay? I wasn't satisfied with the narrative. My spirit didn't accept the narratives of who we are. Because once I did my genealogy and found out that majority of my great-grandfathers were doctors, you couldn't tell me anything, that my ancestors were great. My grandmother's father was a doctor, Dr. Henry Williams, out of Chicago. His dad was a doctor, and just pure greatness. My uncle, my grandmother's brother, was a doctor. Okay, let's look at my ancestor, Dr. Daniel Hale Williams, born January 18th, 1856, and died August 4th of 1931. He opened up Providence Hospital and training school for nurses. In 1895, he co-founded the National Medical Association, a professional organization for so-called black medical practitioners, as an alternative to the American Medical Association, which didn't allow so-called African Americans membership. He became one of the first people to perform an open heart surgery successfully. Okay? So I know so far, I haven't even climbed up the family tree yet. We're only at what, 1931, 1856 I'm in? Okay, I haven't even climbed up. I haven't even gotten to the juice of my family tree, and I already have a successful heart surgeon, and he's the reason why so-called blacks was nurses and doctors were able to perform in America. But you told me my ancestors came as broke slaves on a slave ship. How, Sway? Impossible. So my grandfather came over here broke and poor on a slave ship and just accumulated all this wealth in the spiritual realm and the physical realm? No, that's not how it happened. And I'm going to go over my family's tree on another video to prove that nobody originated from Africa. Okay, my ancestors have a lineage of Native American, the real Native American, not the $5 Native Americans, not the people that stole the existence of my ancestors and that are running around here dancing in feathers, speaking about the American Indian, so-called Indian, because once again, my ancestors did not call themselves Indian. Okay, we are indigo babies. The Rainbow Warriors, all right? And I'll speak on another video about that, all right? So I can keep going up the tree, but I want to get to the most important meat of my family tree and the reason why I'm doing this video and the reason why I am a no Thanksgiving forever, okay? Because celebrating Thanksgiving to me is a demise of the massacre of my ancestors, okay? All right, now, like I said, for those of you who are interested, come at me, come in my comments. Let me know, that you want to know who you are and where you come from. And like I said, I will help you. I will help as many as I can. All right? Now, let's go to, let me get a picture here. Let me get my visuals ready. Sorry, family, 1 second here. Let's get the visuals. Let's get my visuals. All right. So, what I discovered, okay, what I discovered in my family tree is my 9th generation grandfather, the Potawatomi Indian, Chief Wahanganash, okay, which is the nephew of Pocahontas, Motaka Powhatan, okay, Rebecca. She had many names, if you know what I mean, all right? Also, I want to let y'all know, when y'all doing your genealogy, what they did was they switched up a lot of the birth dates and kind of, switched up the names so we wouldn't figure it out. That's why you have to use your discernment when digging. And you have to tap into the divine so your ancestors can help you out in the spiritual realm. Okay, that's what they did. They changed up birth dates. If you go on Ancestry.com, you'll see you gotta really go digging in the archives. You might even have to fly into the state that your ancestors were born in to go into the library, the archives, to go dig. This is not for the weak or the lazy. Okay? This took me a lot of flying in and researching. I mean, this research didn't happen overnight. Okay? Yeah, I put the work in. All right? So, let's talk about my 9th generation grandfather, Wahanganash, Chief Wahanganash. Let's talk about the fact that, first of all, when you think of Pocahontas in the Disney movie, that's all lies. She was forced into a marriage, and it's Pocahontas, which is my auntie. She has a lot of descendants in her bloodline. There was a lot of people that came to me stating that that was their their grandmother, and her bloodline runs really deep. So if you resonate with Pocahontas, and you feel like she's in your bloodline, do the research. Find your ancestors so you can break those generational curses for them. Okay? Now, what happened to my 9th generation grandfather is what they did was they stole some land from him. Okay? They stole some land from him. And then what they did was they stole his land. All right? They locked him up. All right? And then when they locked him up, he proved that he was innocent. And in the midst, they released him. And when they released him, on the way to going back to, tie his land down that they stole, he just mysteriously died, which we know he was taken out. All right. So they stole his land, accused him of a crime he didn't commit. When he went to court for it and fought to, state that he was innocent, they took his land anyway. So that's his history. Okay. And that was in 1663. All right. So, they hijacked my peoples. All right. Now, shortly after my grandfather's death in 1666, the Englishmen launched a full-scale massacre against the Potawatomis, all right, in the area of Virginia, all the Virginia Indian tribes. Most of the women of the Potawatomi tribe were killed. The women and children placed in servitude slaves, okay? Servitude. You get it? All right. A few of the Potawatomi children who were orphaned by 1666 were massacred or taken by the colonists. Okay? All right. Now, my grandfather was shooed into allowing a number of his daughters to marry the Englishmen. That's what they wanted. The Englishmen wanted to mate with the indigenous women, and there's reasons why. All right. There's reasons why. So, yes, for those that come against me, stating that, I was what they call that in chattel slavery and all. There were, like I said, there were some Africans brought over to mix with us that were into slavery. But my ancestors were servitude slaves, a.k.a. prisoners of war. Okay? We were not slaves. All right. If you got a royal bloodline, how are you a slave with royalty in your bloodline? All right. Kendrick Lamar let y'all know he got royalty in his DNA. He was trying to tell us then who we were. All right. Now, enough about me and my family's bloodline. Let's talk about who we were before 1492. Family research who you were before 1492. That's very key into your success with finding out who you are. All right. I've talked to many who already know who they are. I know a lot of my brothers and sisters out there, they know who they are. They just, they're stopping at just being an Indian. They're stopping at, that's it. But if we come from royalty, then what did the Indians have that were royal? Let's go back. Let's go further than that. Let's research the Egyptians. Let's research the Irish and the Scots. Okay? Because we already know who Queen Scotia was and who her father was. Those are keys, gems to helping you find out who you are. Okay? Now, let's talk about the massacre that happened. Let's talk about, I don't want to get everyone confused. I'm going to do a video on the connection between the Irish, the Egyptians, and the so-called Native Americans, okay? Just know this, that in 1847, okay? 1847, 14 years after the Choctaw Nation, the dealings with the Trail of Tears ended, The Choctaw people in Oklahoma donated $170 to the Irish, to the poor Irish. Now, ask yourself this question. $170 back in 1847. That's $170,000 in 2023. Why did they donate all that money to the poor Irish? Ask yourself, what is the connection between the Irish, the Indian, and the Egyptian? Okay? Just please do your research. Yes, those are different timelines, family. But if you got 4,000 and something odd ancestors in 400 years, then add up those timelines and do your research. Were your families the Native Americans? Were they the Irish? Were they really the Egyptians? Find out who you are, please. All right? It just take a little research, heartache, sweat, tears. That's all. This is not for the weak. I want to remind everyone, it's not for the weak. Okay? Now, let's talk about the Pequot Wars. All right? The Pequots were a very powerful tribe in the Connecticut River Valley. In 1637, the Pequot War massacre started. So-called whites with the Narragansett and Indian allies attacked the Pequot village on the Mystic River. Whites set fire to homes and shot fleeing survivors. Pequot tribe virtually annihilated, and an uneasy peace lasted for 40 years. Now, the Pequot War lasted it started in 1636 and it ended in 1637. The Pequot War was an armed conflict fought between the Pequot tribe and the alliance of the Massachusetts Bay, Plymouth, and Saybrook colonies with their American Indian allies. The Narragansett and Michigan tribes at this time. The Pequot tribe was centered along the Thames River in present-day southeast Connecticut. And as colonists expanded westward, friction began to develop. The war was the culmination of numerous conflicts between the colonists and the Indians, including property disputes, livestock, damaging Indian crops, competition over hunting grounds, and selling of alcohol to Indians and dishonest traders. Tensions came to a head in July 1636 when the Pequot killed a dishonest trader named John Oldman. As a result, numerous settlers demanded that the Pequot be punished for killing the Massachusetts governor, John Endicott, began to raise a militia. The soldiers allied themselves with the Mohegan and the Narragansett tribes, who were rivals with the Pequot. Family, I want to say this. Just like you got karmic, hating, jealous cousins, aunties, and uncles, which are warlocks and witches, they existed back in those timelines. Our ancestors had their own tribes turn against them with the colonists. So just like you got, family turning against you, lying on you, hating on you, there's nothing new under the sun. The same happened to your ancestors, and that's how they got overtaken. All right? So, there's one, I wrote it down during my research. I want to talk about this fella here. Okay, let me get, my notes, family. Where are my notes? Okay. So, what is his name? Let's talk about it. In late August, the militia launched an expedition against Block Island, part of Rhode Island, killing 14 Indians before burning the village and crops. Several skirmishes would follow over the next year until the colonists attacked the Pequot village. Now, the Pequot village was the most powerful tribe, okay? That's why they had to go, all right? The most powerful tribe, all right? Now, They attacked the Peacock Village on the Mystic River near present-day New London, Connecticut. Yes, New London, Connecticut, in May 1637. Encircling the Indians under cover at night, the colonists set their dwellings ablaze. They set them on fire, okay? Set them on fire. Then shot them as they fled from their homes. From 400 to 700 so-called Indian men and women and children were killed. Hundreds more were captured and sold into slavery to the West Indies. The Peacock chief, Sassacus, was captured by the Mohawk and executed. And what they did was they downloaded his information from his brain and cut his head off and hung his head on basically like a staff. That's how they did our ancestors. Now, when you celebrate Thanksgiving, okay, it is a ritual, an international ritual, family, of the slaughter of your ancestors. The turkey is their body. The stuffing is their insides, their guts, and the cranberry sauce is their blood. It's a ritual that everyone in the world is taking on. Now, I can't speak for everyone's intentions that's in the world, but I can speak for if you have the DNA of a massacred so-called Indian in your blood and you're sitting down celebrating Thanksgiving to your ancestors' demise. I mean, let's think about that. Your ancestors got slaughtered and murdered, and the colonists designed a holiday, a man-made holiday for you to celebrate the demise unwillingly. Now, I'm not saying everyone that celebrates Thanksgiving knows exactly what happened, but if you get some information about you being lied to about this man-made holiday, it's your due diligence to find out what happened and not just celebrate and sit down and take on this ritual. So if you resonate with a so-called Native American that was found here by the European, if you resonate with this, the copper-colored races that were found here in your soul, if you resonate with this, it's your due diligence to find out what happened to your ancestors, okay? To confuse us, they swapped out a race of people and said they were the true indigenous found here, which they're not. The DNA they did the DNA research. They're putting the truth in our faces. We know the Africans have a different genotype than us. Their genome is 5'9", ours is 12 to 15. We have different DNA makeup. Our DNA makeup is different. All skin folk are not kinfolk. That does not mean we think we are better than anyone, because we don't. Okay? We are no better than anyone. We are suffering just like every race on this realm. Okay? For me, it's to find out who you are so you could break the generational curse that your ancestors caused. Now, for me, my ancestors were massacred. If you are a descendant of the colonists, well, how do you break your generational curses? Is to be aware of what your ancestors did and break that curse by going the opposite direction, doing the shadow work, healing your family's bloodline. Because none of our family's ancestors were perfect. We had some karmic low vibrational ancestors and we had some high vibrating ancestors. Everyone on this realm must do their shadow work and heal their inner childhood so they can see what happened and what their ancestors did. Period. So when I say everyone has to do their shadow work, This is the reason why you don't know what your ancestors did. You don't even know why you were born into a curse, because we all was born to a curse, born into a curse. This is hence why the Bible says we were born into sin. Remember, I said that book got truth and lies. You got to have discernment. The reason why we were born into sin and we have to be so-called reborn again, meaning break the generational curses, because we were born into a curse. Our job is to break the curse for our ancestors and your kids and their and your grandkids and their kids and their grandkids for generations to come. It's very important, family. All right. So, I just want to put this out there. Tomorrow is no Thanksgiving Day. What I'll be doing is fasting, meditating, and connecting to my ancestors in the spiritual realm. That's what I will be doing tomorrow. Yes. And praying that many of you awaken to the truth, and if you do so happen to celebrate, to repent. I mean, I tried to make this video a couple days before the man-made holiday, but it didn't work out that way. And so it's very, very important for people to understand that, once you go back in a curse, you got to live that life for 7 to 10 years. That's a lot of suffering. I am tired of suffering, family. And I know many out there are. You're suffering because of your bloodline. You have to free your bloodline. Whatever you need to do, semen retention, disconnecting from low vibrational people, shadow work, healing your childhood trauma. Those are the steps to healing that bloodline. Healing the incest, the wicked incest curse. We got a lot of curses put on us that must be healed. Okay? All your family secrets that you think are secrets are no longer secrets anymore. The divine is bringing all family secrets out. We are under judgment. And I'm going to keep saying this. Karmic debt is here. If your past life and your family's bloodline has karmic debt, it's your job to heal that bloodline. Like I said, if you don't want to do it for yourself, at least do it for your kids and their kids and the generations to come. Okay? Now, I'm going to end this video with... let's look at what's going on with the crimes against humanity. This is an article. Let me click off there, family. Okay, let's go here. All right. For those that do not know, the United States of America was found. I'm not just talking off articles. Okay. I'm not just pulling up books and reading about these massacres from my ancestors. The United States was found guilty of crimes against humanity. All right. And this was in October 2021. But nobody is talking about it. Nobody is mentioning it. So I'm going to shed some light for those that have no idea that when I say my ancestors was massacred and slaughtered, here is the proof right here. This article is the reason why many should not be celebrating the massacre of my ancestors. I'm proving to you that this is all factual information. And I'm proving to you that this Thanksgiving is a ritual to many of y'all ancestors' demise. Now, let's read it. The International Tribunal finds the United States guilty of crimes against humanity. This was posted November 1st, 2021. The International Tribunal on Human Rights Abuses Against Black, Brown, and Indigenous People was held October 23rd through the 25th. at the Malcolm X and Dr. Betty Shabazz Memorial and Education Center in Washington Heights, New York City, aka Turtle Island, Lennap Land. The main theme of the tribunal was "We Still Charge Genocide," in recognition of the "We Charge Genocide," the crime of the government against the Negro, so-called Negro people. A 1951 petition the United States signed by dozens of notables, including Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois, Claudia Jones, Harry Haywood, and Paul Robeson. The 2021 indictment is against the United States of America, represented by its president, Department of State, federal and state policing agencies, and other government institutions. The following is an edited version of the findings presented at a press conference at the United States Nations Church Center, October 25th. Go to Spirit Mandela Facebook page at tinyurl/75, the URL family, for video testimonies, findings, and verdict. The IAC will be writing on the 5 indictments, including testimonies of witnesses in future posts. The background of this. The panel of jurists heard testimony emphasizing the millions upon millions of indigenous and African peoples murdered, disappeared, and nearly exterminated over a period from 1492 through the present day of 2023, meaning they're still doing it. Further, the witnesses and prosecution argued that the wrongs have been historic and deliberate, with colonization, racism, materialism, imperialism, criminalization, patriarchy, neocolonialism, and internal colonism as part of the largest process that now manifests itself in medical and digital apathy, chemical warfare, environmental violence, and racism, disinvestment, and the pandemic of accessible guns and drugs, with the majority of gun violence perpetrated by the police and security forces in the false claim of upholding law and order. Statements were made testifying to new forms of colonism, which include the prison industrial complex, the military industrial complex, and the commercialization of our health and privatization and commodification of all social services. The testimonies include substantial evidence of erasure of histories. What? Let me read that again, family, so y'all understand this. The testimonies include substantial evidence of erasure of histories, meaning they try to erase us out of history. Distortion and culture misappropriation contributes to the exacerbates and attempted invisibilization and denial of people's basic humanity. The profound impacts of all these realities extend beyond the erasure and attempt to exterminate Black, brown, and indigenous lives. Hence, as one witness stated, the colonization of the spirit and mind continues to this day. Family, go look up this article. I don't need to read more, but what I will tell you is this. All right. If you go to Pacer, these files are not sealed. If you open up Pacer and open up an account, this is real. I've confirmed it. This is not just an article that somebody made up. Go look under Pacer, open up account, and you will see for yourself. This is real. Okay? This is real. That's why it's so much chaos going on. That's why so many distractions going on, because and the depopulation agenda and all this scrambling around, because they don't want you to know who you are, where you come from, or where you're going, because this is important. They don't want you to shed light on this. All right now. No Thanksgiving. No Thanksgiving. All right. I also want to shed light when they came over here for the Peacock War. You know, they came to the land of the light. They knew, because we know, you know, Christopher came over here. You know, they knew who was over here. All right? They knew who was over here. They knew the spiritual enlightenment that our ancestors had. All right? They knew about that. All right? So before they came over here and massacred them, our ancestors were trading peacefully with so-called colonists 100 years before the Europeans came and started kidnapping us first and selling us as slaves. Because that's how it started. They were coming over here, kidnapping us and selling us. Okay? Then, after they kidnapped us and started selling us, they knew that we were children of the light. So they brought a disease over here to take us down. That's why 90% of us was taken down first. They did it in sections. They just didn't come over here and burn us all down. They brought disease over here. They came over here and allied with other troops. Our own family turned against us. You know, it wasn't just one takedown. So when you guys, when y'all do your research, you guys will see that it wasn't just one takedown. All right. Our ancestors were they had compassion and love in their heart. When the colonists first came over here, our ancestors fed them, showed them how to grow crops, showed them how to be civilized. And once they learned all that, they murdered and stole from our ancestors. Okay? We were already here 1,000 years plus before anyone came over here. Okay? But shout out to William Bradford and his descendants who called us dumb savages. You know, we are not that. Okay? If we are our ancestors, we have love and compassion in our hearts. Okay? And we are rainbow warriors / starseed / children of the light. Okay? We are the people that's going to raise the vibration of earth. Okay? Like I said, it's not a color of a skin. It's your soul and your spirit. All right? Test, you're supposed to, test a person's spirit and you will know them by the fruit they bear. That's how you go off a person. You don't judge a person by their skin color. All right? All right. Now, so family, I hope you guys are going to operate in love and light. And I'm praying that many want to wake up and realize that we've been lied to. Our ancestors were lied to. Their ancestors were lied to. Generations and generations of program lies. And I'm praying that this generation wake up, and let's break those curses so we can live free. So we can get all those blocks that was put on us lifted. So we can teach our children the truth. So we can heal from generations to generations. That's very important, okay? All right. I want to go ahead and close out this video, family. I am outside, family. I'm outside and I'm enjoying it, okay? Let's go. Psalms chapter 105, verse 15, saying, touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm. The creator of heaven and earth is very, very, very upset. Okay? And, Shout out to my divine masculine and my divine feminines out there. I will be covering, I'm working on my video right now of the difference between a feminine and a masculine, and the difference between a divine feminine and a divine masculine. There's a difference, okay? All right. So if you're out there and you have a royal bloodline, okay, and you sitting and you doing this international ritual, shame on you. And I'm speaking through the ancestors. Shame on you. Because when you know better, you will do better. Love and light, family. Till next time. 1.